Hi everyone, welcome to the Hindu newspaper analysis in under 10 minutes by JTS Institute. A small announcement, JTS Institute has announced its 2024 GS online program with some really exciting offers. The link is given in the description below. Today is the 9th of May, let's dive right in. The first two articles are to be read together. This is related to the India-China issue. The first is India's China strategy need to be debated, and the second is Buddhism, India's soft power projection tool. I have added these articles as must read because it is important under international relations, and especially for the topic of Indo-China relations. As an UPSC aspirant, it is important for you to have all the viewpoints that you can get on this particular topic. The next article is the lack of a drug recall law in India. This article focuses on a few questions like what happens when substandard drugs are indiscriminately distributed in the market. Have there been discussions on implementing a drug recall law in the country? Why are pharmaceutical companies resisting a centralized drug recall authority? So, on the 25th of April, Abbott, a multinational pharmaceutical company, published a public notice in newspapers alerting people about a mislabeled batch of medicine that it had inadvertently shipped to the market. While such recalls have taken place regularly in the US, we have never witnessed domestic or foreign pharmaceutical companies recall substandard or mislabeled drugs in India. One of the reasons for this difference in behavior in India and the US is because the law in the latter requires pharmaceutical companies to recall from the market those batches of drugs that have failed to meet the quality parameters. India, on the other hand, have been mulling the creation of a mandatory recall law for substandard drugs since 1976, and yet no law exists that mandates such medicine be removed from the market to this day. In fact, in 1976, the Drugs Consultative Committee, which consists of all the state drug controllers along with senior bureaucrats from the Ministry of Health and the National Drug Regulator, the Central Drug Standard Control Organization, discussed the issue of drug recalls. The minutes of this meeting record a discussion on how drugs ordered to be recalled by a state drug controller in one state were found to be on sale in another state. While the meeting resolved to have greater cooperation between various drug controllers to facilitate better coordination, this decision never translated into amending the law to create a legally binding structure to enforce such recalls. Since then, the issue has come up repeatedly in regulatory meetings in 1989, 1996, 98, 2004, 07, 2011, 16, 18 and even in 2019. But none of them resulted in amendments to the Drug and Cosmetics Act to create a mandatory recall mechanism. The article also goes on to state about three possible answers as to why there is no recall law. The first is that the drug regulation section of the Union Health Ministry is not up to the task of tackling complex drug regulatory issues due to a combination of factors including apathy, lack of expertise and a greater interest in enabling the growth of the pharmaceutical industry than protecting public health. The second possible factor is India's highly fragmented regulatory structure with each state having its own drug regulator. And the third possible factor is that India's drug regulators are aware of the fact that a mandatory drug recall system, which necessarily has to be centered on a system of wide publicity, will bring to public attention the state of affairs in India's pharmaceutical industry. The next article is what are the regulations to curtail misleading food ads? What are the stipulations under the Food Safety and Standards Advertising and Claims Regulations 2018? So, on the 29th of April, the Advertising Monitoring Committee at the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India FSSAI flagged 32 fresh cases of food business operators making misleading claims and advertisements. As per the regulator, the count of such offences has shot up to 170 in the last 6 months. This article just gives an overview on what are the regulations under which the food ads are being controlled. For example, what is the act under which it is being regulated? What is the kind of words that can be used in advertisements? Like, when can a product be referred to as natural or fresh? A food product can be referred to as natural if it is a single food derived from a recognized natural source and has nothing added to it. It should only have been processed to render it suitable for human consumption. The packaging too must be done sans chemicals and preservatives. Similarly, pure and original. Pure is to be used for single ingredient foods to which nothing has been added and which are devoid of all avoidable contamination, while unavoidable contaminants are within prescribed controls. Original is to be described for food products made to a particular formulation with a traceable origin that has remained unchanged over time. They do not contain replacements for any major ingredients. It may similarly be used to describe a unique process which has remained unchanged over time although the product may be mass produced. And that is it for today. If you have found this video useful, please do like and give a comment. Also, do subscribe to our channel. Thank you.